Timecode is.
Independent film. Originality.
Fresh.
35 millimeters.
Video.
You ain't no for sure.
Stylized.
Urban, man. Original
Crescent
content.
City.
Creative.
8 millimeters.
Feel me.
Independent. New Orleans.
Style.
16 millimeters.
Video.
Man, you ain't know.
The Arts and Entertainment Division is new with this administration. Previously, you had the Office of Music, the Film Office, as well as Tourism and Arts, and they were all separate entities within Economic Development. Now what we've done is restructured all of those offices under Arts and Entertainment, under that umbrella. And basically, my role is to make sure that all of those offices work together with one strategic vision for the city of New Orleans. In the arts and entertainment area, there's a lot of exciting things. In the area of film, that industry is exploding right now. We've had several major features in the last few months, beginning with Runaway Jury, which was a $60 million feature that shot in New Orleans last fall. They wrapped that up in mid to late January. We've also gone through the shooting of the movie Unchained My Heart, the Ray Charles story. That was a $40 million feature. They recently wrapped that. Mr. 3000, a Disney movie starring Bernie Mac. The HSI Lift partnership has completed one feature called Trespassing, and it is currently in post, and they plan to come and do 2 more in the next 2 to 3 months. So we have an explosive growth in the film industry. That's primarily fueled by the new tax incentive package that the state passed, which is much more encouraging for filmmakers to bring their projects to Louisiana because they can actually make their projects for a lot less money. And so we're getting a lot of attention from Hollywood because of those tax incentives. Right now, the tax incentives have generated excitement of people bringing their projects, but in order to really build a true film industry that's going to be recurring over time, we have to solve the problem of having enough experienced crew people in all crafts, having enough of the infrastructure with the sound stage. Right now we're basically using the MIM Center in Elmwood. That's really the only local sound stage. We need something here in Orleans Parish, and there's a number of proposals on the table to build a sound stage. You know, all of those are challenges that we need to overcome to really help that industry grow. The New Orleans Media Experience is a festival. It's a week-long celebration of the converging media art forms of film, music, advertising, and video gaming. All of these media art forms are interrelated and overlapping currently. For instance, a music video is nothing but a commercial for a band. They are making movies based on video games and vice versa. So this event celebrates the interrelated nature of these various media art forms, and basically what we're going to do for that week is we're going to have exhibitions in the area of film. We're going to have film screenings. We're going to have a video gaming exhibition. We're going to have music video competitions. We're going to have seminars and speakers and panels, and nighttime we're going to have some great parties and other special events. Sony is going to be a partner with us. We have the organization that regulates the video gaming industry. We also have Slam Dance, which is one of the smaller film festival boot camp operations that's going to come in with us and stage their events. So we have a number of alliances and partners that's going to come on board and help us do the event, so we're very excited about it. Now, what we are not attempting to do is replace any existing film festivals because they all have roles and missions. For instance, we have the New Orleans Film Festival, which we support. This event that we're doing, the New Orleans Media Experience, will be unlike any of those traditional film festivals. It is the one that really highlights and celebrates convergence, the extent to which different mediums are utilized in your work. So, if you're a local filmmaker, you can submit your work for our competition or to be screened. We definitely want the involvement and participation of our local population. That's from college students to amateurs to professionals, all of the above. We would like to reach out and have people participate. We are building an online film and video resource directory. And basically the purpose of that is to list all service providers as well as all workers and participants in the local film industry, so that when production companies come in, they can utilize that resource to access people with various levels of experience and skill sets, and hopefully link those people with available jobs. So I encourage people to go to the city's website at new-orleans.la.us, register for the online film and video resource directory. That's a great thing they can do. The second thing I would encourage them to do is try to just be aware of what opportunities are available. I mean, sometimes you get on certain mailing lists, and we do have a mailing list that we send regular information out. But maybe you're in the loop on that, maybe you're not. But if you're a little bit more proactive in talking to your friends and other people in the business to find out what activities are happening locally and how you can get involved. So, step out there and make it your business to educate yourself about available opportunities, because there's a lot of exciting things happening. And so, you just can't sit back and say you're serious about participating in this industry. You got to take the next step to try to find out what's going on. So I encourage people to do that.
For more information, log on to TimecodeNOLA.com.
Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul.
Oh, Ethel.
Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes untold.
Dad, come get your breakfast before... There you are. You ready for breakfast? Dad, where are you going?
Feeding the chickens.
I already fed them.
Then it's none of your business. Morning, girls. Get enough to eat? Ethel? Ethel? Where's my eggs?
The milk is going sour. I had to use
I
it
want
up.
eggs.
Gravy's faster.
I don't want biscuits and gravy.
Just eat. We're gonna be late for church.
I want eggs and bacon and toast. Margie, where's my toast and coffee?
Surely, Dad. There's no toast. It's time for your pills.
What's this one?
Heart.
My heart's fine. You're the one that should be taking it.
Inhaler.
I ain't eating this. Out of my way, girl.
Where do you think you're going?
I want toast. Now.
Dad, I just fixed breakfast. Now sit down and eat.
If your mother were alive. Mean. Disgusting. Stupid. Fat bitch. Margie, kitten, how about this shirt? I love spending Sundays with you. I hope you make fried chicken. I hope you make fried chicken. Shirley! Shirley!
What?
You killed my hen.
What?
You killed Ethel.
Lord, Dad, I thought you'd fallen.
Those are my chickens. Mine!
Dad. Dad, just get dressed. We're gonna be late for church.
Oh, now, kitten. Don't start. The more you complain, the more I need a cigarette.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you about Ethel. Dad, the doctor says no more cigarettes.
Kitten, come on, don't start nagging me.
Nagging? I'm trying to keep you alive.
Thank you for understanding. Alive.
If you want to smoke, fine. Hack up what's left of your lungs.
One of these days, about 4 o'clock, this whole world's gonna reel and rock. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. One of these days, and I don't know when, this whole world is gonna end. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Go away, Satan. Go away, Satan, and let me be.
I decide what I'm gonna eat around here.
Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Satan wears a sinful shoe. If you don't mind, he'll slip it on you. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. When I get to heaven, I'm gonna sit down, wear a white robe and a starry crown. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. I'm going to heaven.
Are you
and I
out there?
Ain't gonna stop. Ain't gonna be no stumbling block. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Hold on.
Margie!
Singing and dancing with the band, just to get ready for the promised land. Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on. Hold on.
Dad!
Keep your hand to the plow. Hold on.
Dad! Dad! Dad? Henry!
Margie? Kitten. Sugar dumpling. I got you something. Some pretty flowers for a pretty lady.
What are those?
Pretty flowers for a pretty lady.
Dad, your hands.
Is there time for coffee before we leave? Is there still time for coffee before we leave?
No, we're going to be late for church.
You're the one who says there's always time for coffee. You're the one who says there's always time for coffee.
Dad, just help me here, okay? We have to get you dressed.
Come on now, dip your toast in the coffee the way you like. I'll have some too. It isn't every Sunday there's a county fair.
County fair.
Rides, food, and music, and dancing. Casey would waltz with a strawberry blonde, and the band played on.
Dad, we'll go to the fair right after church. Sit down, Dad.
And now, my friends, join us here as we begin the hour of prayer. Cast off your worries and open your Bible, the book of Philippians, chapter number 4, verses 7 and 8. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, and this is Paul speaking, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things.
I hope you'd be here.
So, how do we obtain such peace?
Daddy?
A peace that passeth understanding. We turn to Jesus to help us see things true. We ask Jesus to help us see things that are just, and we call out to Jesus to show us what is pure. We open ourselves to Jesus to show us what is lovely, and follow Jesus to show us things of good report, which means good news. We rip open our hearts to Jesus that he may show us his virtue. That he may show us his virtue. Now, what does that mean? His virtue. I have to fight with myself to do God's will, to do the Lord's will. And I ask that the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, takes me into a place where I can turn away from those virtues.
Margie? Kitten? Kitten, what's wrong? I've been calling you.
Nothing's wrong. Are you feeling better?
Feeling fine. Never felt better.
Henry, sit down. I'll make us some toast and coffee.
Well, there's always time for coffee.
That's right. There's always time for coffee.
I came to filmmaking as an actor. I was working in New York, and I was really frustrated by what was available to me. It seemed like it was going to be song and dance if you wanted to get anywhere, and I was frustrated because actors are at the bottom of the food chain, and I decided I'm going to film school. I've got to get some more power in this business somehow. And so I applied to New York University and some schools in Los Angeles, and I got into New York University, and they offered me several $1,000s a semester to go there, and I said, I'm going to LA. Making spring film is a very, very challenging process because it's pretty difficult to direct a film just for start. And then when you
Sounds
have, when
rolling.
you add the component that it's a teaching tool and a learning experience, there's this kind of dichotomy with having to direct the film and also trying to provide for as good an experience for the students as possible. On Sunday Biscuits, we did something we'd never done on a spring film before, which is we set up a mock shoot. So what we did is we went out a week before and pretended. We set up all the departments, but we set up the departments and we shot. We had a call time, we had a shot, we didn't load the camera, but we did everything except expose the film. And the mock shoot was rough, and it was a really good experience so people would know what to expect when they showed up on the real day. Sunday Biscuits is written by Wendy Shimon, who is a recent graduate of UNO. She developed it as a play in an English class. But I selected the film because it was in one location. Little did I realize that it was one location in 2 time periods, and it also had exteriors. So we ended up having huge amounts of production challenges because of it. There were times when Wendy would say, well, this has to be because Henry wouldn't do that. She knew those characters so well that I relied on her to figure out what the characters would do, and mostly what I would bring in was, okay, well, we need this, and I would say this story point doesn't work because, or this ending isn't adequate, which is where we started. You know, we need something that at least is going to give some finality to this experience and not leave the viewer lingering. We shot in Gonzales for the exteriors at the Billingsley's farm, and that was one day. We shot inside the Zion Lutheran Church for a couple of hours, and we shot the rest of it interior. It's all set, it's all built. Had a huge art department. Sandra O'Clair was the art director, and she supervised half the crew. And we built these rooms, and we built them in such a way as we could move them back to the 50s, and we could pop them back to the 90s and break away walls. It was very challenging sometimes because I had to shoot coverage, which means the reverse angle of the scenes, particularly in the kitchen, a few days later. It was also very complicated because Alan Parks, DP, and I had a plan to change film stocks and have movement in the old era and have the camera static in the modern era. I wanted to ADR the whole thing from the start, and I knew that going in from the start, and and one of the things I did is we have a character who reflects back on himself as a younger man in that film, and I got to change the actor. In other words, I got to have one actor play both parts on the audio to unify the film some more, and the ADR enabled me to do that.
Timecode NOLA. The New Orleans Independent Film Program.
Second line is a dance, second line is a parade, second line is a song. And I mean, it's almost like a competition on the sidewalks, you know? Everybody just kind of dancing with each other, out-dancing each other. There's a little competition going on with the second line dance. I mean, it's a whole kind of dance step. It's a concept as far as how you move your feet and how you move your shoulders and how you dip and how you get up and how you spin. It's a real physical dance, the second line dance. So there's a lot of competition going up the sidewalk from bar to bar, and they kind of laugh it off every time they get to every bar. The social and pleasure clubs, are really responsible for the second lines. Social and pleasure clubs just started to help families, help neighborhood friends get together and start a social and pleasure club. And whenever they had some kind of tragedy in the family, they would help bury the loved ones and what have you. And then they have the annual parade, which consists of about 4 hours. Everyone dressed in the same uniform. And sometimes it consists of one division, which might have one marching club and one marching band, all the way to 5 divisions. They may have made 5 marching clubs and 5 bands. And it usually lasts for 4 hours, starting at a designated spot like Joe's. And it goes from bar to bar for 4 hours. And they are parading and just dancing for their life.
Love second line, it's all I grew up with it, I'm gonna go out with it.
Damn good time. A lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and a lot of bug jumping New Orleans style.
Oh, it's this exciting. It's just lovely. I love it.
Oh, the music lovely, y'all in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just check it out, come out every Sunday.
I love it, y'all. We might have grown up poor, our people, but we not rich, but we know how to have a good time.
Each neighborhood from uptown to downtown, all the way to the little night ward, has a group. It's kind of, might be the 6th Ward High Rollers or the 9th Ward Steppers. Always a fancy name. It has to do with a lot of dancing. The route is planned in advance, and they print out about 1,000 route sheets. About 2 months in advance, to start handing out route sheets. So early that morning, about 10 o'clock, everyone is just standing there waiting for the parade to start. Before the band get there, before the club get there, you know. There's always a king and a queen in a parade. It's dukes, and they let kids ride. So they always have, they'll usually go around and ask somebody in a neighborhood that's kind of popular, who they want to be the king of the parade. And then he say yeah, and then he has the opportunity to pick the queen, whether it be his mom or his girlfriend or his daughter.
My name is Laura. I'm first maid with Real Men. This is Sandra. She's second maid.
Second maid, known as Sandra, known as Q Brown Sugar in the house.
hope y'all have one too.
And every bar they have a little food for the dancers and the band, and a little beer, you know, cold drink or whatever you need. Usually, like they give out sandwiches, fried chicken in a little plastic bag, just something to give the guys as they go, because they kind of keep going. They hand them the chicken and the beer, and they just kind of keep going. Sometimes they'll stop, sometimes they don't. There's always a costume that's planned out within about an 8-month period. Right at 8 months before the parade, they start planning, and it usually starts from the shoes. They'll get a catalog and order some real nice gator shoes most of the time, and it's always a nice suit. Yeah, they pick out a pattern, then they buy the material. Everybody go get measured together, and it's a big party going and get measured, you know. And then they'll pick out a hat, and everybody go down and pick out the hat. And they'll make fans, real beautiful fans that you can hold in each hand. It may have the name of the club on it, it may just have the initial on it, it may just have anything on it. Sometimes they have a dollar bill, it's shaped like a dollar bill, it's shaped like a eagle or whatever they decide to make it shaped like. It's kind of cut out, arts and craft. They take it and go down and cut out the board to it. You have to actually cut it out, so they're doing a lot of work. I mean, you wouldn't believe what they do. It take about an 8-month period to get together. Trimmy is like the spot where there's a lot of bars, a lot of funeral homes. It's right by the French Quarters, and the Trimmy is a spot that is known for its musicians that stay in the neighborhood, hang in the neighborhood, live in the neighborhood, and practice in the neighborhood, and a lot of gigs come out the neighborhood, whether it's a birthday party, whether it's a jazz funeral or a wedding. Parade might pass at any given second around here, so a lot of kids get a chance to see a parade and get interested in, hey, I want to play a little music. And if they can get fortunate enough to get an instrument in their hand, most likely there's always somebody around to teach them or show them. And to see it happen is the best thing that can happen, to actually see it happen, because it encourages you to step right up, you know.
My name's Jeremy Campbell. I run 1018 Films here in New Orleans. We just wrapped our longest project to date called, it's a documentary called Don't Worry Honey, I Live Here. It's a Mardi Gras film, but it's not the Bourbon Street Beads decadence, girls gone wild on a Tuesday that you're so used to seeing in Mardi Gras films. Instead, it focuses on local traditions, and it's all from local musicians' point of view. Morning 40 Federation, Kermit Ruffins, Irma Thomas, Marva Wright were all in the film. There's 20 some odd musicians. Hours and hours of filming Mardi Gras footage, and that was during Mardi Gras season. In the off season, we would interview the musicians. So it was only hard logistically, because a lot of musicians come into town only certain parts of the year. They have busy schedules. That that was, I guess, the only really difficult part. The rest was a labor of love. It was a lot of work, but it never seemed like a lot of work because it was so much fun to do. Once the film was finished, I mean, obviously every filmmaker who finishes a project is passionately wants it to be seen and wants to share their film with the world, and that can be a challenge when there aren't lots of venues to do that. So going from day one, the film was made in partnership with the Garrett County Press, which is a local publishing group. They're a micro-publisher here in New Orleans, run by G.K. Darby, who also runs the New Orleans Book Fair. And they had always only dealt in books and zines and independent literature up until Don't Worry Honey, I Live Here. And actually, day one of shooting, GK and I had discussed the film and distribution ideas, and he's been in charge of putting the film in stores and has done a great job of putting it in venues, putting independent film in venues where he's put his independent books. Pick up the film at the Louisiana Music Factory, Tower Records, Virgin, various local stores around New Orleans, and more and more stores across the South and other regions of the country, every day. So definitely, from the start, we were already thinking, how can we make sure this film is seen? So video distribution was one area. The local screenings, that's a situation that came up really, I guess, 1018, our two main focuses are producing films and promoting films. And so when we have a film that we produce, it's an interesting combination of promoting our own films. But basically, the House of Blues, I thought, was a good choice for the premiere of the film because of their ties to local music. They're a great organization when it comes to promoting local music, and they're dedicated to local arts. So I met with Laura Tennyson, who's the marketing manager there, and told her about the film, gave her a synopsis, and all systems were go. She's like, yeah, that would be a cool event. So we got it booked, and luckily got a lot of local press about it and had a good crowd. I describe the state of film in New Orleans as a state of vast potential, because there's so many talented filmmakers here in town, so many with amazing ideas and brilliant films they're putting together, and they really want a film community. They want to be a part of a film community and contribute to a film community and support a film community. But I think the biggest problem here in town is bridging all of these people together, because you run into someone who's really interesting in work, like Helen Hill, for example, who does a lot of Super 8 filmmaking, absolutely wonderful filmmaker, and then you'll run across another filmmaker who's kind of in another micro bubble of film that does something different, and another person who has a great idea for a film, but they need a crew and they're having trouble finding people to help them out. So I think that in New Orleans, if we could all come together and have a central message board type of place like Timecode, the show, then I mean that's perfect, and that's what needs to happen, because I really think New Orleans is simmering in the whole boiling pot of film, and it could be great. I mean, I think turn up the heat, and it could be a really remarkable film town. That's why I'm here. Is I see great potential for New Orleans to become a city for live music, a city for filmmakers to emerge.
information, log on to TimecodeNOLA.com.
If you like snoozer, you might enjoy Gargantuan Things, a collection of short works by Jason Affolder. Contained on this very neat DVD are Snoozer and other assorted projects. Some of these movies have been screened all around the world and won awards, while others sadly have not. You'll find art, adventure, comedy, horror, beauty, oddity, along with a super secret hidden bonus track. Gargantuan Things is available at Mojo Coffee House, Mushroom Music, Octavia Books, and online at filmbaby.com. Get yours today or tomorrow.
Timecode NOLA.
Independent film originality.
TimecodeNOLA.com.
Urban man.
Crescent City.
Creative.
8mm.
Independent.
TimeCodeNOLA.com.
Video.
Man, you ain't Log on to www.timecodenola.com. You heard me? Informative.
Timecodenola.com.
Coming soon, Shudder, the New Orleans independent film magazine. Shudder is a new monthly publication featuring articles and resource information about the New Orleans film community. Our premiere issue is coming this fall, and we're looking for your participation now. If you're a filmmaker, we'll post your events, promote screenings, or release cast and crew call. Shudder magazine is the perfect resource to get your news out to the film community. Visit our website today.
Filmmaker, huh? You sit around with your partners talking about you gonna shoot this or I'm gonna shoot that. You ain't shooting shit. You gotta finish the sound bites, and I need ADR and my soundtrack music ain't right. You ain't making movies if nobody ain't seeing them. Get the done, you bullshitting. We need your film. Send them in today. Timecode NOLA, you heard me?
Timecode NOLA is supported in part by the Louisiana Division of the Arts Council of New Orleans, Cox Communications, and by people like you.